All right. What's going on? 1022. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Welcome to the first intermediate call or lesson or recording, whatever you want to call it. If you guys have not noticed, I am in a new room. I recently moved to a new location, so I'm in a new environment. Got a new background behind me, not just a plain wall, but I am in a new room, and it feels very nice to be here. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. We are going over support and resistance in depth today. We're going to go a little more in depth today on support and resistance. Might use a couple trend lines, not too sure yet what I want to do, but yeah, we're going to get in depth here on support and resistance. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get right into it. All right. So, well, hold on. First and foremost, we got to look at the slide. We got to make sure that we cover everything on the slide. There's only one slide, but we got to cover it. So the support level that is broken tends to become resistance. So we've talked about, and you've seen me talk about it a lot on other videos is, when that support level is broken, it tends to become that ceiling where price will then come back and bounce off of it and continue on towards the trend. Usually, let's call it a downtrend. And it happens vice versa. So once it breaks a ceiling, it becomes a floor. It comes back, hits it and goes further higher. So this is called a role reversal. Traders often observe these levels as significant turning points in the market. A previous support level that has been breached and turned into resistance can act as a barrier to further price advances. Confirmation. Support and resistance levels are not foolproof, and false breakouts or breakdowns can occur. Traders typically look for confirmation before making trading decisions. Confirmation can come in the form of price patterns, volume analysis, or indicators. For example, if a stock approaches a resistance level and it simultaneously displays bearish candlestick patterns and high selling volume, it adds weight to the resistance level's significance. So traders most of the time use support and resistance with other confirmations such as volume, candlesticks, and price action. So I guess I literally wrote the same thing there. So, okay, cool. So that's kind of just the basis for what we're going to be talking about during the remainder of the video is when you see price levels get hit and they turn away from there, you have to have other confirmations to feel more confident about taking a trade at that level, right? So we'll start with what I was going to originally start with, which is the higher time frame analysis down to the lower time frame. So top down analysis. We're also going to change our chart to a candle, from candles to line chart. So we're going from candles to line because we're going to analyze the pointy parts of the market, as I like to call them. We're going to actually start on the daily time frame as well. And like I said, we always use Euro USD just because it's a base currency pair. Everybody in the exchange trading realm knows Euro USD, and it's one of the best to analyze. So we're going to analyze it, and I might go over one more pair as well, but we're going to stick with Euro USD and mark up the daily time frame. We're going to go ahead and get our horizontal line tool out and make sure that it's a color that we like. I don't think I like that color right now. I think I'm just going to stick with white on this one, just so we can see it better. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark up the point of interest that we think is the most common or the most reoccurring within the market. So, or let me rephrase that. Let's go ahead and mark up areas that are the highest resistance and highest support, or the best support and best resistance. And so the first resistance would be right here at 125. Let's just call it 125 even, whatever that is right there. That is a very good resistance point within the market. And then let's mark up our support. We have a support down here at 96 cents, 96 cents. So we have our first major resistance and our first major support. Now let's mark up some more. What do we have right here? I see a pretty good resistance right there at $1.20. We had it trade above here for a minute, drop down below, and then trade just below it again. We're going to go ahead and just mark that as well with another resistance line. Also, actually, we're going to color code them as well. So these are your resistances, and then we're going to color code the supports. This right here, support at $1.03. Really good support. Here's another support here. This is a very pointy area on the line chart. That is going to be considered a support. Right here is a major support level. Honestly, all of these pointies that you can see throughout this downtrend are technically supports. So we could mark all those up, but I'm not going to mark those up quite yet. Here is a good resistance level. Do you see how many times the line chart wicks or hits this level and comes down and sells off of it? Multiple times. And then it finally breaks through it here. So this 114 price level is a very significant area of resistance and support, because once it broke above it, it came back down to it and supported off of it. And then it became that resistance and traveled further down. So you can see that this 114 is a very significant price level. This right here is a pretty good support and resistance level as well. We have support here, resistance here, support here, and then resistance here, right? Let's look over here. We have a resistance, and then we have some support there. All right, so we marked up a lot of our really high points of interest, our key frames that we're looking to dive into on the 4-hour time frame. And actually, I'm going to take it back. I'm not going to color code it. And the reason I'm not going to color code it is because they're interchangeable, which means that we're using support and resistance, but we're also interchanging them, which means that it's not, I don't want to go and change them once you know what support and resistance is. You know that if the line chart hits a certain level, it's going to either bounce off of it and go down, or if it's going to come down, bounce off of it and go up. There's only so many things it can do. So let's go down to the 4-hour and let's go ahead and see, take a closer look at the time frame and the correlation between support and resistance. We're just going to start where with prices currently, and you can see that because we drew these lines up, there's going to be relevancy from all the way back in here, and we can't go that far, but we can go far enough to really get in depth here. So check this out, right? And also, by the way, we're going to add some lines in as we go along. So let's start right here at July of 2020. So the beginning of July starts bullish and then ends bullish. And then we have some kind of consolidation in a way, but it's still kind of in a trend upward, right? Still making higher highs. And then it drops back down to a support, buys up, consolidates, drops down to support one more time, and then continues the uptrend. What do we see right here? We see some resistance at this 118 level. So price breaks above 116,433, and finds resistance at 118,948, which we'll just call 119. We'll just call that 119 right there. And you can see that price really respects that 119, and for a long duration too. I mean, this is 101 days. That's from July to November. So it was trading within 119 and 116 for quite a long time. And so as a trader on the 4-hour time frame, you must be able to be aware of that. It's an in-depth analysis, right? The market is trending upward, but it's hitting some selling pressure. And that resistance level can tell you that if we're in the uptrend, it will eventually be broken. But until it gets broken officially on the daily time frame, you're not going to want to do a whole lot with it. you're not going to want to do a whole lot within this range until it gets broken on the daily. Like you can pull the candlesticks out, right? Until the candlestick trades like 2 daily candlesticks above it, you do not want to trade and look for buys. That's why I prefer candlesticks, because it tells you more of a story about price. But as you can see, right, you have one day and then back under the next day. You have one day above, 1, 2. Okay, it closed above, but then this third day just didn't make it. And then we have some more wicks that just keep hitting this line, does not want to go above it, finds support at 116,463, comes back up, retests it again, fails, goes back down, buyers buy it back up, and they just cannot get price above that 119 level. It just won't budge. But eventually, it finally gets a 1, 2, 3 candle close above the white support line. And then we have an explosion up to that next zone or region of support and resistance, right? So when you're looking at this, there's multiple opportunities for short positions, because these are pretty large moves. These daily candles are producing large moves. I mean, guys, this is a significant support and resistance level. So you can look for buys off of this support, and then you want to look at price action, of course, on the 4-hour. And we're actually going to go right back to it. Where are we at here? Boom. Whoa. Boom. There we are. Okay. So as you can see on the 4-hour time frame, we're starting to kind of work our way down. The 4-hour gives you a lot of more data. And when you're looking at these levels, it's simply just playing these levels and back testing these levels, taking small trades and not like risking too much, but taking multiple positions at this level and seeing how many wins you can get off of a resistance. Once you see like 1, 2, and then that third one trades above it, you kind of want to be careful not to rush into a buy, right? Because that would technically be a fake out in the slides, right? It was like, oh, be aware of a fake out or a breakout. It breaks above it, but then trades right back down through it. So anybody looking for that retest gets faked out, right? Anybody trying to get in on the buy off the support gets faked out, and it drops right back under. And then it does it one more time and then trades right back under and keeps resisting that level. You also have a minor support on here as well. You can see that price resists and then comes and supports this 117 multiple times. So throughout the market, you have multiple trading opportunities. There are endless opportunities with support and resistance. And then you just have to throw in 2 other confirmations to make your trade analysis or strategy viable for the long term. And so you can see what I'm talking about in depth is it breaks down even lower. So we're going to go to the relevant time frame now. We're still on the 4-hour, and we're going to just look deeper into this real quick. It's in a downtrend, which is really good. And so it's in a downtrend, and we're going to utilize the ceiling and support and kind of go through that downtrend and pick some trades out, right? So what I see is prices trading lower, price action. The order flow is bearish. You have large bearish candlesticks, and you only have small bullish candlesticks. You can just look at it and study it, right? These are so bearish, and then the retracements are just not filled with a whole lot of volume. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our trend line and we're going to mark up our resistance. So boom, this was a resistance here. So notice how price dropped, traded just a bit higher, dropped again, and then hit that one more time before trading lower. So we mark that as a resistance. What does price do? Comes right back up to it before continuing to find another support. So boom, right? Price hits a price level and trades higher. When you see 2 large white 4-hour candles that trade like that, I mean, that's an 87 pip move. That's pretty significant. You're going to mark that area of support. You're going to draw in your line. So boom, that is a support level. Where does price resist off of? Right here. See how price hits here and then goes lower? Why did it hit off here? Because over here, price was a support. So notice price trades lower, finds a support, trades higher, hits off resistance, trades right through this support, but then revisits it as a resistance. So this is that in-depth analysis that I was talking about. In a downtrending, in a trend, right? In a trend, it continues to happen over and over. So now we have this support that becomes resistance. So boom, we look for short positions off of this resistance. Boom, it comes lower, comes to the support, doesn't quite hit it, retests one of our major support levels, and then trades lower, breaking this support level. So boom, new support, we draw our line in. We draw our line in just for the future, we draw it in. Now, this was a resistance that got retested 1, 2, 3 times. So we're going to draw it over some more and look for more short positions off of that current price level, which is 110,381. So see how many times price retests these support and resistances? It can be up to 3 times. It could be up to 10 times. You literally just have to continue back testing. And if you take 10 trades, and you win, 6 of them or 5 of them, if your risk to reward is solid, if you have a solid risk to reward ratio, you're going to make good money. Like if you have a 34 pip, stop loss and a 100 pip TP, your trades are going to be so amazing every single time. They just are. And remember, this is on the 4-hour time frame, right? So let's keep going. Once it finally trades off this resistance and it trades through this support level, we can extend. Well, first we got to draw in our new support, right? This wick is technically a new support. So we draw that in. Where does price then resist off of? Ooh, let's look left. This was a support. It trades through it. And then what does it do? Trades right back into it and resists off of it. Trades lower. See how many times it retested it though? Technically, like this price action right here is technically coming off of this support all the way over here. And so it sometimes gets a little tricky, but you have to remember, if it's in a trending market, you have to play the zone and trust your trade. You just have to. And so it continues lower, and we have this new support off this wick. It finally trades below that. So we extend this, and then what do we have? We have it revisit here. And then it finally comes up to that support, resists off of it, and trades into a major support level. So you can see what I mean by in-depth support and resistance. It gets super in-depth. You can go to the 1-hour time frame. You can go to the and we're actually going to go to the 1 hour, and you can see how much it really it looks a lot more is going on the 1 hour time frame. There is a lot more going on here, because now you have many support and resistances within the 4 hour, right? Not only do you have this support here and resistance, but you also have this little support and resistance right here. Look at this little look at this. See, price trades above, trades below, and then comes back and then revisits and then sells off. There it is, right? Look at this. Support. See that? Was a support here, traded through it, comes back through it again, and then hits it one more time before going higher. So there's support and resistance everywhere in the market. But for me, and for most traders, the higher time frame, the better. And so you see here how we have a larger retracement up to here. That's going to happen. You're going to get a larger retracement here. So you might have lost this position, because what do you have, right? You have your support here, and you're looking for price to come up and sell from here, and it just trades higher, and it trades into these resistances up here. And sometimes you can't control that. You did your best, you analyzed the best, and it just bought up, and it came back into this area of support and resistance. So, but then it traded lower, and then look at this support, right? That got revisited here. What happened one more time right here? This 4 hour These 4-hour candles wicked it perfectly and traded lower back down to the support. So you can see that it really keeps happening over and over and over again. Support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. See the pattern? See the pattern here? Support. Ooh, look at that. Look at here. Look at here. Look at this one. Look at this one. Support, resistance. Whoop, trades above. Support, 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 support. Trades higher. And now we have what? Well, where did it go? Let's see where it went. So it went back. Wow. It wicked all the way back to this support all the way up here. Isn't it just so unique? I find it so unique how it just trades through these levels. And you never know which home run you're going to hit. You really don't. Like you could just keep trading off these levels. Like you could have shorted there, been wrong. But then you short off this support here and you catch a banger. Like this is a banger of a trade right here. So it just all varies, guys. I think that's quite an in-depth analysis of support and resistance. We could get super crazy with it. We really could. And I might during a session, if you guys, hit me up and ask me if you want to schedule a one-on-one and go further into detail on support and resistance, we're more than welcome to. But we can get crazy on this because if we start going on to the 15-minute time frame and getting really in depth, it's like, wow, we have a major support here on the 15-minute. Look at this resistance right here. This is a resistance. It trades above it, and then boom, we're looking for buys off of that resistance because it's now a support. So you see what I'm saying? There's so much going on all the time. If you guys want to get more in depth with it, let me know and we'll get straight to it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the first video of the intermediate section. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get more interesting. And I hope you guys took some notes. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Take care.